The WWK recruiters that I've worked with in my cases are very helpful to the caseworker. They get really difficult cases. They're assigned the older children that don't have a readily identified adoptive home. Having a dedicated recruiter on the team is very important because it helps divide up duties for the social worker. Having someone else help you and assist you in adoption recruiting is really helpful. WWK recruiters are a part of reasonable efforts. When a child's placed in permanent custody, I have to review that case annually. But one of the questions you're asking at the review hearing is whether or not the Child Welfare Agency has made reasonable efforts for purposes of permanency. And that's where WWK recruiters fit right in. Well, the WWK recruiters have a bulldog personality. They don't want to let go. And they are also kind of archaeologists. They're looking through and turning through this case file that's been open for a really long time, that's probably had a number of caseworkers involved, and trying to really research to try to find people and connections. I've seen them work with relatives to be able to identify relatives either in the state or out of the state. When we first started the case, there was a sister who was just 20 years old. And she was in no place to be able to take custody of her sibling. Well, 10 years have passed. Nobody's talked to her again. Well, that's one thing that you'll see the WWK recruiter do. Maybe they're in a position now to care for their sibling. We should never give up on trying to identify kinship placements. That's why the recruiter, working as an archaeologist and a bit of a bulldog, can find placements for these kids where other people maybe didn't. The child's voice is really critical to the WWK recruiter. They can really get to know what the child wants. If the child doesn't want to go, that's not going to be successful placement. And so they have a real focus on the child's voice, and I think they really help kids be heard. They're a big part of the discussion about reasonable efforts because they can share what all they're doing along with the caseworker. It provides the court with a big picture about all the efforts that the Child Welfare Agency is ensuring happens to find a permanent forever home.